As your will is done in heaven, let it be on earth. As your will is done in heaven, let it be on earth. Let your power fall, let your power fall, let your power fall. Let your power fall, let your power fall, let your power fall.
What's good?
Yeah.
The best local and international music and talk. You are listening to Cheval Collins Radio.
And yeah, it's about 1:29 on Chavalcon's radio. And yeah, we are having Jackie Ankrah with us. Just make sure that you are tuned in with us because exactly after the news headlines with Bianca Lilaga, we're gonna be having her with us here on the studio. Just make sure that you're tuned in with us.
And I think we will have here maybe up until 10 past 2.
That would be nice.
Yes, 10 past 2. Just to make it up for that time. Just we want to have you like almost for an hour.
Oh, wow. Wonderful. Thank you, Cheval. Thank you.
Thank you. So yeah, let's just go straight to the news headlines with Bianca Lilaga, and don't go anywhere.
Cheval Collins Radio News.
Welcome back. My name is Bianca Lilaga. Sergeant Thabo Musia says he had no reason to tamper with evidence. New witness to take a stand at Senzo Meyiwa murder trial. Former KZN head of Treasury to be sentenced for fraud and corruption. For more news, stay tuned.
Cheval Collins Radio News.
And yes, that was Bianca Lilaga with the news headlines. Just make sure that you are with us up until the hour 2 because she's going to be coming back with the full bulletin.
And we are still hanging out with Jackie Ankrah. So it's a very good time to get to know her better. And if you want to join into this conversation, you can just call 074-553-8270 or send a WhatsApp text or a voice note on 067-863-4220 so that you can get to ask any question to her.
Any question that you'd like to know.
Yes.
Wow.
It looks like people are so much excited because already they've started texting. There's someone here who just texted and say, "Hello, hi Jackie."
Hello.
That shows excitement. Eh?
Yeah, they are very much excited.
And I'm excited to be here with you.
Yes,
Really, really excited.
But to get deeper to the interview itself, where people must get to know you better. Each and every journey has a starting point. To you, Jackie, as a singer, broadcaster, actress, how did this journey start?
I was born into a musical family, so music has been around me my entire life. My grandparents, they were originally from Sierra Leone, and they were performers also. So they were performing along the west coast of Ghana and found themselves along the west coast of Africa and found themselves in Ghana. And my grandpa, he was a dancer, a singer, a pianist, and my grandma was a singer and a violinist. And so they would perform, and my grandpa started the first hotel in Ashanti region, Kumasi, and it's called Hotel the Kingsway.
Wow.
So that's how it started. They gave birth to my mom, and my mom gave birth to me. And we were surrounded with great music. I remember when I was growing up, I was listening to Miriam Makeba, Lady Smith, Black Mambazo. I was listening to Aretha Franklin, to Nina Simone, to all kinds of musical influences in my childhood. So I started singing at an early age. I used to go to church with my mom to sing also. And when I went to school, I went to boarding school at the age of 6. There also, I joined the choir. So, I mean, music has always been at the center of my gravity. So I've just been, and then I went to school in England for a while. And while I was studying in university, I fell ill with a virus of the optic nerve. So I couldn't see for a while. And I had to leave university and go back to Ghana. So when I went to Ghana, I opened a gift shop. I was really young at the time, but I opened a gift shop. I was selling cards and gifts. And then 2 young men came one day to supply me goods. And they said, "Oh, we'll take you to church with us. And we'll let you sing." So I was happy. As soon as I heard sing, I went along with them. So that's how my career started when I returned to Ghana. And I think in 1998, I launched my first album, This Is My Time.
Yes.
And then Christian Broadcasting Network came to Ghana, and I was chosen to represent Ghana for the United Musicians Alliance. It was a recording for West Africa. So we went over to Nigeria and I did a song there too. And then I recorded a one called You're Not Alone, which was for CBN Virginia. So I did that. And then after that, I thought, okay, do another album. So I did my second album called So Glad. And on there, I got to work with some of the musicians from Osibisa. I don't know if you know Osibisa. Osibisa was one of the famous Ghanaian bands to reach out internationally. So I got to work with some of the musicians from there. And since then, you know, I've been working on radio and TV also since 1993. And just doing corporate affairs, and you know, at the moment I'm the corporate affairs director for an e-learning company called Wolo. So we take learning to young people virtually and however else they want, and we try and educate them and impact them positively. So this is what I've been up to. And then recently I found Taki Ndu, and we did this collaboration called Hallelujah. And still we're traveling down the road of music, still recording, and hopefully it should end in my third album.
But the collaboration with Jackie Ankrah, how did it came about?
Well, as I've been in the studio for a while now, because, you know, if you look at it, between my second album and now, it's been quite some time. So in between that, I've had time to do a few singles, like Rain, which you played, was in 2017. So I've been doing a few singles, and recently I decided it's time for my third album. I haven't been able to work on an album because I was working for government. I was the head of public information department for national security. I was doing that for 12 years. And so that took a lot of my focus and a lot of my attention. But recently I decided I was going to go back and try and do my third album. So my producer, while we were working, he came to me and said, you know, I've got inspiration for a song and I want you to listen to the instrumentation and see if you like it. So when I listened, I said, yes, I do like it. And he said, all right, then why don't you put lyrics on there? And I listened to my heart, and because sometimes you should listen to your heart, because that's how God speaks to you also. Your instinct, your gut feeling, that's all God speaking. When you say, I heard something and something told me not to do this, that's God speaking. So I listened to my heart and I heard, shout it out to the nations, tell them about my goodness. So I went to him and I said, well, this is what I hear. And he said, you know, I hear hallelujah. So I said, well, if you hear hallelujah, then why don't you put your hallelujah and my shout it out aloud to the nations together? Once we've done that, he said, you know, this is a good song. I think it's too good a song to stay local. Let's try and take it out to the world. So he'd been studying here in South Africa, so he knows Benjamin Dube, he knows all these people, Bongani, Nkosi, and everybody. So he reached out to Taki, and Taki was willing to do it, and that's how we got it started. And this was just right after COVID, you know, so we were sort of like wondering how to do it, but by God's grace we did it.
Yeah, that is so beautiful. That is so beautiful to know, you know, having to hear that you have worked with some people here in South Africa, you know, it's so inspiring. It's very, very inspiring.
Yeah, and from the first album that you released in 1998, This Is My Time.
This is my time.
I just want to get the feel of how did people responded to it.
Oh, people loved it. People loved it. We've got a great musician who died. His name is Danny Nette. He was very popular, great guy. He produced it, and it was a beautiful album, a beautiful experience, and people loved the music on there.
Yeah, because I was listening to some of the songs from that album. It sounds so good.
Oh, thank you.
That's why I was so keen, like, in knowing how did other people received it. Because
Yeah, but
to
it
me,
was
it
it was
sounded
long
so-
overdue
so-
because as I say, I've been singing my whole life. When I was in primary school, I was writing music as far back as that. So I've written a lot of music, so it's almost as if it's within you and in your belly, and when you record it, then it's like you give birth to it, and so that's how it feels. It feels like you gave birth to a little baby, and when people love it, then it's
Yes.
so by the time my first album was ready, I felt like it was long overdue because I had been nurturing the music for quite some time.
And also the hectic schedule that you like from broadcasting. And,
Yes.
so how did you manage to juggle that up? Like, it's a lot.
Oh, and I've been doing morning shows for
Yes,
for
yes.
ages, breakfast shows mostly. So you can imagine, because you finish your morning show and then you've got to get ready for the next one. So there's not really much time to rest or relax. You've got to do your research, before you know it, it's dawn again and you have to go back to the station. So you're right, it is a difficult schedule, but somehow we manage, we juggle and we manage. I don't know how we do it, but I think God gives us the grace and the strength, and we do it.
Very true, very true.
And thank you so much. It's about 40 minutes after 1 on Chavalcom's radio, the radio that is coming to you, and we are still getting to know our very own, I would call her our very own Jackie Ankrah. She's no more a Ghanaian. She's a South African now.
Yeah, I've been threatening to stay here anyway.
Yeah,
because
please do.
People here have been praising me. Yesterday when I was at the mall, they said, "Oh, you've got lovely skin." Today they said, "Oh, you've got lovely hair." So I'm saying to Ghana, people, if you don't praise me as much, I'm not returning.
I think we have to like to steal her from the Ghanaians.
We have to. That is something. She's one of our own from now. She's no more.
Yes.
She's
yes.
one of us.
The moment you touch down to South Africa, you become
One of
our own.
us.
When you have to shut the doors to the airport, then so that
We're
I don't run
definitely
away.
going to do that.
We're definitely going to do this.
Shut the gates,
Because
shut the
we
gates.
are looking forward to many collaborations.
Oh, indeed, I am as well. I'm looking
Mm.
forward to many collaborations. There's so many people I'd like to work with. There's Intokozo Mambo, there's
Oh,
Benjamin Dube, there's Rebecca Malope, there's so many people I'd like to work with. And my video director, Slow Man, he's also coming up with a few names that he thinks would be great for collaborating. So I'm ready.
We can't wait.
you know why? The names of the legends that she
Exactly.
mentioned.
That's why I'm saying we can't wait.
That makes me feel like she's gonna be here for the longest.
She's gonna be here with the, she's one of our.
And I'm loving that. I'm loving that.
And here I've got Bongani. Bongani is just saying, thank you so much, Jackie Ankrah, for the beautiful music. I am tuning in from London.
Oh, wow.
Mm.
How's the weather in London?
Yeah.
Imagine from London.
From London.
Wow, Bongani, that's amazing. I should
That's
say
amazing.
Unjani.
And it shows how well your music speaks to the people. That's why it didn't make me to like want to ask you this question. Normally, when people do music, they normally categorize their kind of music. Some they will call it a traditional gospel. Some call it an urban kind of gospel. How do you describe your music?
Do you know, when I think about my music, I think about my heart, my soul, and everything that's within me. So I think it's an expression of what lies within me, and without sounding overly spiritual, I have to tell you this story. I was in my mom's belly for 11 months. You know, every baby's in there for 9. I stayed 2 months extra, overstayed my welcome and my visa. And my mom, you can imagine how it felt with a great big belly. She was tired by the time. She was frustrated. She was praying a lot. And people would say, you know how we have these Africans. Someone says, go to the beach. Someone says, drink coconut oil. Someone says, roll a little, light a candle, do this, do that.
There's a lot of superstitions in there.
Exactly.
And scenarios.
Yes. What did you do wrong to carry a baby for 11 months? And in those days, there wasn't cesarean section, and it was scary, in fact, to go and have surgery, and so people would never.
Because to most, it's like it's not normal.
So most people wouldn't consider it. But my mom, she prayed a prayer. She said, if you would give me this baby, I would dedicate it to you the rest of its life. And then I came. So I owe God a duty to walk in his command and his law and his order, and so I don't really have much of a choice to do anything else. And when I focus in my heart, a lot of it is the gratitude I feel, a lot of it is the love I feel for how far God has brought me, and I think that's what influences my music a lot. But if you talk about styles, I would do pop, I would do traditional, I would do Afro pop, Afrobeat, anything, jazz, whatever, as long as I'm singing about the love, the goodness, the mercy, and the grace of God.
Oh God.
Wow.
Yeah. That is beautiful. It's about 44 minutes after 1, and we are still together with Austin Rengani. Promise Gracious the Grey is my name, and we have the lovely Jackie Ankrah. The beautiful.
Can I add on that?
Yes, please. And I want to add something after that. The great.
Oh, wow.
And I just received a message again, and then it's Norangoben again. She's saying, and a lovely voice as well.
Oh, I love you. Kisses, hugs and kisses.
Yeah, kisses and hugs from Senton. Hey?
Oh, and I've been enjoying South Africa, to be honest. I've been to Soweto, I've been to Pretoria, I've been to, I've just been around and I've been loving it.
And the very same person that we are talking about now, Nora Ngobeni, she's one of the community builders. She managed to build a library for her community.
Yeah,
that's wonderful. That's wonderful. God bless you. That's wonderful. That's amazing. I work with children as well, so this is great news to me. Yes. So maybe we should do some more collaborations in that regard also.
Yes. Because it inspires me a great deal, because when you see women doing things that are of uplifting their communities,
and their society, you're right about that. And I think it's good because we get to impact the next generation. I think it's important that we teach them responsible leadership.
Yes.
And so by leading through good examples, we can do it and succeed. So well done, Nora, well done.
And another thing that I'm very interested, like the other side of your career, the broadcasting one, like we have the breakfast shows, like it's those kind of shows that really attract a lot of listeners. Each and every radio station
that's
want
how
to
you
go
start
big.
your day.
Yes,
if you have a great breakfast show, you'll have a great rest of the day. If your breakfast show doesn't work, then
how
there's
was
not
it
much
like
hope.
Then when you were doing that broadcast?
Oh, the early morning shows. Well, I'm still on radio, but this time I'm not doing early morning. This time I'm doing health and wellness. So it's every weekday morning. It's called the Nestle Nutrition Line, and we give advice and tips on how to live a good and healthy life. But when I was morning show, I did the TV breakfast show, and then I did radio breakfast show as well, and it was a challenge, but I enjoyed it.
It's demanding.
I mean, first of all, you've got to, you don't get much sleep.
Yes, you have to wake up very early.
You have to wake up early. When your show's over, there's still so much to do to prepare for the next day. There's a lot of research that goes on. You prepare your guests, your interviews, so it's a lot of hard work. But it's also fun knowing that the whole nation is listening in, looking up to you, taking advice from you, taking inspiration from you. That's a huge responsibility, and I'm glad that I was able to do it for many, many years.
Very, very. Yeah, because to me, I do listen a lot to some of the breakfast shows. It can be like all over the world. You could just tell that it's a very demanding.
It is demanding, but it's fun also. And you've got to be in a certain mood. It doesn't matter what kind of day you've had the day before, what kind of night you've had, whether you woke up on the right side of your bed or not. You've got to show up for the people, inspire, encourage, educate, inform, transform lives. And so it's a huge responsibility, and we do it. We do it with joy, serving God and country.
Wow.
And thank you so much. Thank you so much for making sure that you are still with us on this and that. Let's just get a song, and then we're going to be coming back to you. Just make sure that you're with us up until the hour 3.
Streaming live on ChavalComsRadio.co.za, the radio that comes to you. ChavalComs Radio.
Nothing is going I will be there to brighten up even your darkest night. You just call out my name, and wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Don't you know that winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you have to do is call, and I'll be there, You got a friend. Woo!
There's also an acoustic one. Acoustic version of the song. You also have the acoustic version of the song.
No. Because this song is not an original, it's a cover version.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a Carole King. Carole King 1971, and I did the cover.
With that kind of Caribbean feel.
But I love South Africa. Your music is amazing. And you guys have influenced me so much. Your music is,
And the people that you want to collaborate with, that's very good.
You just call out my name, and wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. I am telling you, winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you have to do is call, and I'll be there, You've got a friend. You've got a friend. Now it's good to know that you've got a friend. When people can be so cold, they'll hurt you and they'll desert you. They'll even take your soul if you let them. Why don't you ever let them? You just call out my name, and wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Oh, believe me, winter, spring, summer, and fall. All you have to do is call, and I'll be there, be there. You got a friend. You got a friend. Oh, you got a friend. So good to know. You got a friend. Too good to know that you got a friend. You got a friend. Rain or shine all the time, yeah. You got a friend.
Yeah, you've got a friend.
Indeed.
Oh my God.
Rain or shine, come what may.
Exactly.
What a lovely song.
It is.
Yeah.
Beautiful song.
Beautiful
You know,
song.
I always-
Originally done by Carole King in 1971. So I did a cover.
Wow, and you did exceptionally well.
Yeah.
You did justice to the song.
Wow.
Because I've listened to many cover versions,
Mm.
and you find that someone just ruined the good
But you know,
song.
if you keep on praising me like this, I'll stay forever.
Please do.
I'll stay here
That's
forever.
the aim.
Oh, that's the idea.
But to be honest,
But to be honest,
I'm
yeah.
saying this not just
Mm.
to
Flatter
make
me.
you, yes, but I'm saying this because of how I listened to the song,
Mm.
how I felt after listening to the song.
Wow.
Yes, it was like I listen around morning. I was listening to this song. I think I played it like more than 3 times.
Wow.
Yes. That's why I'm saying that it's having that Caribbean feel,
Mm.
and it makes you reconnect with the African roots.
Mm.
Yes. So that's why I'm saying it's a very good song.
Yeah, it is.
Thank you.
It is. And yeah, another thing, as we continue with the interview, Jackie, you're also a journalist.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, what inspired you? You know, I'm so curious because on this and that we deal with politics, we deal with current affairs, with breaking news.
Politics will get you in trouble.
We know, but
we have to face that.
We have to face that.
Politics. Oh my
You also
goodness.
didn't tell us about that. What challenges have you
Well,
met?
I think I'm generally an inquisitive person. I've always wanted to know about things, about people. I've always had questions to ask, always wanting to find answers to things. So when I was growing up, at the time, I think Oprah Winfrey was quite big at the time, and I think she influenced every young person greatly. So you would find that I would practice on my family as my audience. I mean, I've always used my family and friends as audience, and I would write interviews and I would write music. So I'd be the performer and I'd be the interviewer at the same time. So I'd be hosting my own shows and singing and, you know, playing piano, and I was just doing. So finally, when I came back from England after that virus of the optic nerve situation, I came back to Ghana, and most people didn't even know whether I would recover my sight fully. You know, I was in real trouble. And then a friend of mine came by and he said, you know, you've got a lovely voice. Have you considered working on radio or TV? And so he just took me to the national broadcaster, the state broadcaster, and I was given a job to it was called the Everyday English for Secondary Schools. So we started with that. And then while I was doing that, I realized, well, you do need some kind of qualification. You can't just sit here on radio and say, you know, you're a presenter, do something. So I went to the Institute of Journalism, which is a university for journalists. So I went to the premier one. I mean, we've got others, but this one is the number one. So I went to the Ghana Institute of Journalism, and there I did a Bachelor of Arts in Communication Studies and Journalism. And then I came out from there and I went to the London School of Economics and did a postgraduate certificate in media and communication with particular focus on television. So and then, you know, on and on and on. And so, I mean, I left university because I was ill, but I've been able to go back, and I think I can say that to God's glory. Now I have a Master of Science in Defense and International Politics. So thank God for everything.
So inspiring, eh?
Very,
Very inspiring. Like when you hear women who are furthering studies in some of the fields that were deemed to be male dominant.
Male dominated, yes.
So inspiring.
Hey,
Yeah.
we're taking over. Gracious.
Yeah,
Girl
we take-
power, girl
Yes,
power.
yes,
You have
yes,
to-
yes.
And one thing about women, I know how dedicated you are when it comes to things.
Mm.
Once you conclude that I'm going to do this, you will give
Nothing
it.
will stop us.
Yes.
That's true. That's true. That's
That's
true.
why I believe that.
But even while we say that women are very dedicated, devoted, committed, we've also got a number of women who have been so abused emotionally, physically, psychologically that they feel like they can't achieve their dreams and goals. And it is for these people that I live, because I want them to understand that if you put your heart and mind to it, and if you can trust the Lord Jesus to help you through, then nothing will be too difficult to do. You know, sometimes I know a friend whose husband used to tell her things like, your legs are ugly, don't wear a skirt, and you know, and you think you're this and you think you're that, and you know, and so she was so discouraged that for many years she couldn't come out boldly and confidently, and she felt there was something wrong with her, you know. And sometimes people do this to us, and then we're limited and restricted. And I want to encourage every woman who's listening to me, whoever listens to me, to be bold and confident and just rise above all the negativity. You're beautiful. God made you beautiful, and you can do whatever you set your heart and mind to.
Yeah, that's true. And we're just coming from a Women's Month, you know, having to hear something like this is just troubling. But anyway, we thank God for everything. Yeah.
And we'll be continuing with Jackie Ankrah after the news.
After
As
the
promised
news.
that we are going to have.
Yeah.
We just have to like extend a bit of.
Just a little bit.
Yes.
So just make sure that you are tuned in with us. It's about 2:00 on the dot, and it's about time that we listen to the news with
To the
Bianca
news.
Lulaga. Yeah.
Jamalcom's Radio News.
Welcome back. My name is Bianca Lelaga. Sergeant Tawosia, the state witness in the trial of 5 men accused of killing goalkeeper Senzo Meiwa, says he had no reason to tamper with evidence as suggested by the defense. Musia was the first forensic officer to arrive at the crime scene. Musia has finally wrapped up his testimony at the High Court in Pretoria after weeks on the stand. Meiwa was shot and killed during an alleged robbery in 2014 at the home of his then-girlfriend, Kelly Kumalo. The sergeant was once again grilled about his role in the collection of evidence. Defense advocate Zandile Mshololo revisited the evidence recovered on the scene. A bullet behind glass jars on the kitchen counter. He conceded to not taking swabs of the bullets. However, he could not be drawn into answering whether the bullet links to the accused to the crime. Mshololo says the bullet that you recovered on top of the cupboard is the bullet that is linking the accused with the crime scene. I cannot answer that. Analysts can answer that. ADV, was there any swab done on that bullet before it was sealed? Was it sealed by you or someone else? Witness, no, that's not how we work. During the re-examination, Advocate George Baloyi for the state questioned Musia on the claims of tampering with evidence by the defense. The defense accused Musia of tampering with the evidence after he submitted the evidence to the forensic science laboratory 4 days after the incident occurred. He maintains his innocence. Advocate George Baloyi says it was put to you that the reason why you handed the exhibits on the 30th of October 2014 is that you were tampering with those exhibits. Did you know who the accused were at that stage? He also says the forensic lab did not raise any concerns with what he handed in. Musia was finally excused from the witness box. The state is expected to introduce a new witness when the trial resumes on Thursday. A quick recap into our new sergeant, Thabo Musia. He says he had no reason to tamper with evidence. Sergeant Thabo Musia, the state witness in the trial of 5 men accused of killing goalkeeper Senzo Mayiwa, says he had no reasons to tamper with evidence as suggested by the defense. Musia was the first forensic officer to arrive at the crime scene. For more news, stay tuned.
Jamalcoms Radio News.
Do you need a little comfort? Do you need a little joy? Do you need a little peace, a little happiness in your life? Do you need a little sunshine? Do you need a little smile? Do you need a little love, a little tenderness in your life? I'll be there for you. I'll be there for you. So many never be alone. I'll be your friend.
Yeah, that's Bridge Over Troubled Waters, and it's about 4 minutes after 2. Thank you so much, Bianca Lilaka, for the news. And yeah, we are still together with the one and only Jackie Ankrah. And we are still getting, you know what, ne? I don't want to let you go, but especially because there's a question, ne? You know, with the journalism, there's a question out of curiosity. You know, when a journalist, you know how journalists are. They will always be rushing after this. Is there any story that you have ever ran after? You know what? Yeah. Is there any story that you have ever ran after you wanted to release that story? That very big story, if you don't mind.
Oh, well, many years ago, I criticized the government of the day because we had some rough times regarding the economy. There were many scandals, and I wanted to know about it. So, being who I am, I spoke my heart and mind, voiced it out, and you know what happened? I got fired from my place of work.
Seriously?
Yes, I did get fired. But I moved on, and that's what I mean about being confident. You know, life throws things at you, punches and hurdles and obstacles and trials, and we've got to learn to overcome them. You know, just tell yourself, I'm worth it the way I am. I'm beautiful the way I am. Honest. Honesty is not a bad thing. Integrity is not a bad thing. I mean, don't let people scare you into becoming something you're not. Be who you are.
Yes.
And that's what I've tried to live by. So by God's grace, I found more work, and the government that fired me, many of the leaders have become friends of mine. And they tell me, well, you know, what you said was true. We just couldn't admit it at the time.
Because journalism itself, it's a
it's risky business.
Yeah, it is very risky
business.
Very risky.
More especially even to women. Yes, because men normally, when they see women in those kind of fields, they don't even take them seriously.
Yeah, you're vulnerable. So that's why it's good to be tough.
Yeah, it's good to be
Sometimes
tough.
we wonder how we can be tough, and you think there's something you can do. But just by hearing other people speak about their challenges should help you toughen up also. It's not just about developing skills or learning, but also developing and boosting your self-esteem and confidence. Those are important as well.
Very true. And getting back to the music part, many artists today face a lot of challenges. Let me start with the time where we were having the outbreak of a coronavirus.
That
many artists
COVID
couldn't even cope with the situation. You, as an artist, how did you manage to navigate throughout that challenging circumstances?
You know, when COVID hit, I was working for government, and I was on the National COVID Task Force. So it was a very difficult time of my life. There were no people in the streets, and yet I had to go to work, and you'd be given a pass, and you'd be given. Did you see that? Did you see that? We had to wear something like we were going to the moon. Do you remember? Protective gear, they called it.
Yes,
And we looked like we were going to the moon. And every day when I left home, I would just be so miserable because there would be no one on the road. And then I would think, well, you're saving lives, you're helping people. But it got to a point where I was miserable because I hadn't seen my sisters and my brothers because everyone was stuck in their home. And Easter came and we couldn't do the usual hugging and kissing. I couldn't kiss my family. You know, that was painful. I mean, I was miserable. One day I broke down. But in terms of music, luckily we had virtual platforms and we were doing stuff virtually. So that helped a bit. It affected our pockets because there wasn't as much money as we would have liked. But, you know, I think COVID was just an evil time, and I'm just glad it's gone.
Because I remember many artists lost their positions, like cars repossessed, houses
it was
repossessed.
a difficult time.
Yeah, because they couldn't even go out to have.
And I think if you weren't very tough and if you didn't persevere, then you know you'd be forgotten about. Because you know we've come to this point in our lives where people don't see you, they don't hear of you, they forget you. That's how we've become. We just feed our eyes so much. Everything is materialistic and aesthetic, you know. So if you're not seeing someone or hearing from them, then suddenly you find that, you know. So it was the ones who were tough and brave who were able to succeed. So I'm just glad that things are picking up now and we're returning to normal and music is popping and jamming and we're back to the good old days.
But the pandemic itself, what did you learn from that reality? Because many people, I think, can look at it as a learning curve. Because like normally before the pandemic, people normally had a way of doing things, not knowing that we can have maybe a natural disaster of some sort. And it can be caught not maybe being prepared for such reality. To you as a person, how did you learn from the
Oh, well, I think I learned that family is important, friendships are important, saving money is important for a rainy day. I think I learned that also because when COVID came, for the people who hadn't saved any money, they were in big trouble. I had men writing to me to say, I don't have any money for my wife and children. Can you help me? Wow. So I learned these lessons, and I think I learned some humility as well. We're not as high as we think we are. We're not as mighty as we think we are. It takes the grace of God to keep us where we are. So I learned a little humility. I think I learned something about family values also. And even if you can't hug a person, touch them, kiss them, you can still tell them how much you care.
Very, very, very true.
And yeah, it's about 10 minutes after 2, and yeah, we are still having a beautiful time. You know, I don't want to let go. I don't know why I don't want to let go. I don't know why I don't want to let go.
But I
I don't want to go either. Anyway, so let's just stay.
I understand
Why?
I asked many people on my social media platform to Google Jackie Ankrah's biography. Then you'll understand why we still want to keep her.
We still want to keep her here.
Yes,
Wow.
yes. She has done a lot.
She has done a lot, and it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot.
And the good thing is that many women can take a leaf out of what she did.
Exactly.
Because I believe that in order to have a balanced society, we need to expose those women who are doing good deeds out there, so that others can get to be inspired and to have that belief that if she can do it, why not me? Yes. So we need to give women that space to do what they can do
and to hold each other up. You know, this morning I read something about how if you want to rise, help others, hold their hand. It is by helping others and by lifting them up that we rise. So I think it's good. You know how they say that women are our own worst enemies because we hate each other, envy each other, fight against each other.
Mm.
But I think if more women would come together and hold hands and push, I think we would do a great job of saving our countries and our continent.
I believe so. That's why I always believe that if we can have women presidents, many instabilities that we see in different countries around Africa could be a thing of the past. Because women normally put family first. So it's going to be simple for them to put the country
and
first.
we care, and we care, and we're a lot more honest, and we're not as corrupt as the men. But you know, the politics of Africa, it comes with too much insult and disrespect. And I think that's what discourages a lot of women. My father was head of state at the time I was born. My father was head of state, and there hasn't been, and from our tribe, there hasn't been another head of state. And I always think about it. Maybe I can represent my father someday and be president of Ghana. You know, that would be nice. But imagine how much abuse I would have to suffer to get to that stage. So I'm discouraged, and I think a lot of women are as well. So you men must be kinder to the women. Be kinder to us.
I always stress this point normally on this and that. It needs us as men to start having that conversation first.
When you
That's
go
why
out drinking, dancing,
yes, because
gambling, what else?
and you know, pardon me. If we men can sit down and start having those conversations about how to make the world more safer for women, I can tell you that we are not going to see those cases whereby you hear that a woman was killed, a woman was raped, a woman was verbally abused.
And I think if you can look at every woman as your mother and your
Sister.
your mother, your sister, would you want something bad to happen to your mother? No. Would you want something bad to happen to your sister? No. Your daughter? No.
Exactly. The very same respect that you have for your mom, your sister, your daughter, it should be the very same respect that you have for other women.
So we have to start by raising our boy child, raising the boy child to respect women, to value women, to look on women as people who have dignity, you see, and not abuse them. So I think if we can start with the boy child, we will do. But we focus on teaching girls to cook, clean, and we don't teach the boys to do much.
Yeah, because you know, I grew up in an environment whereby I was surrounded by many women. And
no wonder you're so nice.
You know what that taught me is that women will always protect you.
That's
Like
true.
where I happen to go out
Mama bear.
with some guys, they can even laugh at you when somebody's maybe beating you up. But when you are with women, that
They
will never
always
happen.
rush to your
That will never happen.
Yeah.
So it made me to realize that women, they are good in making sure that one of their own is safe. So that's why I have much respect for women.
God bless you.
Yes.
God bless you. We need more men like you.
A man has spoken.
Nothing more to say. Nothing further.
You see, that's why I'm keeping quiet and listening to it, because the man is talking right now. And yeah, we really appreciate it a lot. Having to have men who say something like that. You know, it's very rare to have to be around men whom you can say we feel so safe. Yeah, it's so rare, because a lot of cases that we are coming across, more especially women abuse, is because men have been isolating themselves from women for quite some time. And when you meet a woman, you feel like this is something that I can play with, and people don't care anymore. So yeah, thank you so much, Austin. And Mom Jackie.
Oh,
Beautiful
thank you, gracious.
mommy.
Thank you, Austin. Thank you. I've enjoyed my time with you.
Yeah.
Immensely. So I'd like to thank you. I want to thank everyone who's been of support and help to me leading up to this Hallelujah song and even coming here. South African Airways. South African Airways is number one. You guys, if you're coming to Ghana, make sure you come with South African Airways because it's direct. It's a beautiful feeling. You know, there've been people, Kunle Ayo, there's Ikuya and her family. You know, people have been good to me, kind to me, and I'd like to say thank you
And
to
when you
everyone.
talk of Kunle Ayo, it's another gentleman who's very humble.
Exactly. That's what
He
I
has
picked
a
up.
beautiful spirit.
Very, very humble. Like I've been following his progress musically and off the music industry. He's so humble. He's so
So
humble.
long live Kunle, long live South African Airways, long live the people of South Africa, and long live the people of Ghana.
But before we wrap up the interview, I just want to know if we can expect new songs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I
for
mean, we've Hallelujah's been out since May, so I mean it's time to come out with the next one. So the next one is called Our God, and you'll be hearing that. I'll let you know. I'll give you an exclusive into that, and that's coming
we
out
just
in
want to be the first.
November.
We just want to be the first station to play.
Yes, you will be.
And we are
You will
going to
be.
doing the countdown. We are very good. We are
So
very
that's coming out in November, and then we're working on our Christmas music. So definitely, I mean, as I say, you know, music is all I hear, all I see. So I just keep on cooking good music. I pray that God keeps giving me good music, and I will be ready to share it with you.
And now that we will be having the contact, we'll make sure that the day in which you are going to release that song, we have you online so that we talk about this.
Yay!
That's going to happen.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, please, just to wrap up the show, can you please encourage everyone that is listening to you right now? Some they want to get into the musical industry, some they want to be television. Yes. Just encourage them. Yeah, just give them power up there to go for it.
Most especially women.
Exactly, we want to take over. You know what?
Well, I'd like to say that no matter your age, no matter your background, no matter what your desires are, you can do it. You are worth it. You're an incredible human being just the way you are. So don't give up. You know, when you wake up every morning and you see the sun and the sky up above you, that's a sure sign that there is hope. So step out in faith. People think that when we say step out, you've got to take a great big step or a huge leap. Small steps are significant as well. So it doesn't matter as long as you keep on moving, you keep on pushing. There'll be struggles, there'll be obstacles along the way, but keep your eyes on the prize. What is it you want to do? What is it you want to achieve? What is it you want to accomplish? Keep your eyes on that. Have some photographs around you of where you want to be, what you want to do. Surround yourself with people who believe in you, people who value you, people who know your worth. And don't go around people who are negative too much. That'll destroy your hopes and dreams and aspirations.
Exactly.
So surround yourself with some good people and keep on pushing. Life isn't easy, but as long as we keep on fighting, we will get to the top.
Wow. So inspiring.
So inspiring. As we've heard.
Hallelujah.
This, I want to play the song, and then it's called Shida.
Oh yeah. Oh Shida.
What does it mean?
Shida means Inyabonga.
Oh,
that's what it means. It is an expression of gratitude. And again, it says that, you know, I've been through so much all of my life, but you're there to carry all of my burdens. You're there to lift me up whenever I am down. And all of my heart and all of my song is thank you.
Wow. At least I've learned
some
new word.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Shida. Yeah, that's what it means. Expressions of gratitude.
Wow. That's what I like about Africa.
Exactly.
The diverse when it comes to the language.
And strangely, you don't have to understand the language to love the music. Have you noticed?
Exactly.
Because when I was young and I used to sing Malaka, like a band. I didn't know what it meant, but
Yes. Like I happen to listen to many great African legends like the Salif Keita,
Angelique Jo.
Yes, Angelique Jo, Ismail Lo.
Yeah.
Femi Kuti.
Yes.
Some
you don't know what
some
they're
of the
saying,
songs that
but
you can't
yeah.
even pronounce what.
Risha Bona.
But you just understand that
Yeah,
whatever
I
is saying.
think African music is a spiritual connection. I think that's what it is.
Exactly. But anyway, thank you for.
So can I just say that everyone please follow me on
Oh, yes,
Instagram.
yes,
It's
yes.
at Say Jackie Ankrah. SayJackieAnkrah. At Say Jackie Ankrah, and that's Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And on YouTube, it's Jackie Ankrah Official. Go on there, follow me, subscribe, and let's have some great conversations together about how we can promote the kingdom of God and the continent of Africa.
We are definitely going to do that.
We definitely do.
And I know Chabalcom's radio listeners are very loyal.
They are very loyal.
Wow.
You're gonna see them. You're gonna see the likes. You're gonna see the follows.
Wow, thank you.
Yeah.
And we had a very wonderful experience.
I did as well. Thank you.
And it makes me to be very proud of being an African.
Yeah, I am.
It makes
as
me
well.
so. Yeah, I'm having that African
So
feel.
from me and all my people, what do we say? Siabonga? It's Siabonga is plural, isn't it? Oh,
Yeah, you can
Yeah,
say
from all of
or,
Ghana.
but in my language, you can say Hakenza.
Hakenza.
It's
And
all
what is that?
Chitsonga.
Ah,
From-
Hakenza.
Yes.
Sounds nice. I'll put that in the song next time. Hakenza.
Yes.
And what is God? What do you say for God?
Shikwembu.
Wembo.
Hakenza Shikwembo.
Hey,
Wow.
wow. And thank you so much for coming. We really enjoyed this moment. Mwah, 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 everywhere.
And thanks to Mr. Kunle Ayo, if he's listening, for bringing us the legend.
More kisses to Kunle.
Wow.
And yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. It's about 24 minutes after 2, and that's how we say goodbye to our very own South African woman here, Jackie Ankrah. As we have already said that we have stolen her, just make sure that you go and follow her. Yes, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and even on her YouTube channel. You can even go there and subscribe and make sure that whenever she posts something, it comes to you, you know about it.
Sharp winner.
Thank you so much.
The best local and international music in time. You are listening to Jabalcom's Radio.
Whoa. I love this song.
Yes, please.
I love this song.
Can you please do us a jingle?
Of course.
Yeah, hi, my name is Jackie Ankrah, and you are listening to this and that talk with Promise Gracious the Great, and most in the Grammy on Jabalcom's Radio, the radio that comes to you. Simple, right?
But can you write that out?
Should I write that?
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna write it. Is it hello everyone or hi everyone?
Hello.
She's a television.
I say
she
hello.
knows it. She knows it. Oh, I wanted to be able to pronounce it. The name.
You will. I trust that you will.
Kenza.
Ikaw kung mana pa atay dengan quick.
I've got a bad handwriting.
What's with that? I mean, that's This is my mom.
Hello, mommy.
to see you. Nice to see you.
How are you? And she's so beautiful. Just like you.
Well. So I'll call you back when I'm done. It was a lovely interview. I'll call you back.
Okay.
We're done. Okay, let me see what you got down here. You're listening to This and That Talk with Austin Ringani and Promise Gracious the Grey on Chaval. Is it Chaval or Chaval?
Chaval.
On Chaval Comes Radio, the radio that comes to you.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, just as simple as that.
Okay.
You can even put some sugar or salt.
Hey.
Whenever you're ready,
Okay.
you can practice.
Okay. Okay. You're listening to This and That Talk with Austin Ringani and Promise Gracious the Grey on Chaval Comes Radio, the radio that comes to you. Wow.
You know?
Can we go now?
Yeah, I'm thinking that. Hello, I'm Jackie Ankrah from Ghana. You're listening to This and That Talk with Austin Ringani and Promise Gracious the Grey on Chaval Comes Radio, the radio that comes to you. Keep on listening and your life will be beautiful and better.
Wow.
I do another one.
Yeah, you want to do another one? Okay, you can.
Hello, I'm Jackie Ankrah from Ghana, and you're listening to This and That Talk with Austin Ringani and Promise Gracious the Grey on Chaval Comes Radio, the radio that comes to you. Keep on listening.
Wow.
Let me do a third take.
Yes.
Hello, I'm Jackie Ankrah from Ghana, and you're listening to This and That Talk with Austin Ringani and Promise Gracious the Grey on Chaval Comes Radio, the radio that comes to you. Stay tuned and stay beautiful.
Wow.
Wow. The voice. That is why Nora was saying that, you know what, and the voice.
Oh.